Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Get a sign-up bonus of 200% up to $25,000 when joining today. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.
Vote for IFL in this year's Sports Podcast Awards. Go to www.sportspodcastgroup.com and vote for us in Best Combat Sports Podcast and the Diverse Voices Awards categories. IFL Pod, available across all major streaming platforms now.
Andrew McCart, IFL TV. I'm just on the bus back from with football. Now, Ben, you made a great signing in me. I think I put my heart on the line. Although you scored 4 goals, but listen, a team's got to need a good general in the middle there, and I think I've done so right. What do you make of my performance?
I've never seen someone battered so much by 16-year-olds, but you can run. You're fit. It was impressive, and another win, another under-16s team that we've defeated, and yeah, it was good.
Well, Ben, see if I had your skill and you had my running ability, exactly, we'd both be some player, you know what I mean? We might even could have made it, not been in this box game, we could have been football players, to be honest with you. We've both got some a unique skill set, I would say.
When you've not played it so long, you think you can do everything, and wow. We took a while to get going, didn't we? I think we lost the first half, and then we came back into a savage style.
I'll probably edit up right now.
Got battered, but yeah, good. It was a good team that we played, and we'll see them tomorrow night.
Listen, before we talk about the boxing, that's what we do here, but can you just let everybody know how many goals you scored?
I scored 4 goals and we won 5-4. It's impressive.
Well, listen, and there's a reason why we're in Liverpool, and you know what, they're all laughing in the bus, but that's actually a fact. I think
it is a fact.
That is a fact. Probably done the least amount of running, but you still scored 4 goals.
I'll be honest, I can finish, and it bails me out. Yeah, Chris at centre back, Matt Hills, very, very good touch. Sam Miller in there, our head of VIP. Savistan in the middle is an absolute beast. Baz, he's okay. He runs a lot. No, he's good. Yeah, it's a good team, talented team. And you, who doesn't stop working.
The new am I getting signed?
We'll see, we've got some players to come back.
Well, when you get to 11 side, I'll be a super sub. Yeah, well, the reason why we're in Liverpool is obviously Tasha Jonas and Michaela Mayer. Now, I've heard a lot of people compare this fight to the female version of Hagler Hearns. I've heard a lot of people like Joe Gallagher and Liam Beefy Smith saying this could be fight of the year. I'm wrong in the January, so do you echo those sentiments?
Yes, one we've been looking forward to for a long time. It's a fight that Tasha was talking about. I think it's a must-win for both. I think they've been waiting for this division to open up, and now you've got McCaskill, you've got Sandy Ryan, you've got Lauren Price, who hopes to fight the winner as well. It's one of those fights where they both, I think if Michaela loses this fight, she's out in the cold. It's hard for her to go get those big fights at welterweight, and for Tasha, this is her. She wants a big name, a real big name on a record. She got so unlucky against, well, very, very close fight against Katie Taylor, the controversial fight against Terry Harper, and this means a lot to her. Yes, you can win world titles, but you want those nights that people remember, and this is one. And yeah, I think it is at this stage of her career. It's a must-win. She still feels like she's got big nights left in her, and that division has got full of talent and full of big fights. And yeah, fingers crossed she'll come through.
Obviously, for Michaela Mayer, she's no stranger in the UK. I think this is maybe her 4th fight in the UK. So stepping into the Lions' Den, which is Liverpool, Natasha's home city, in front of her home fans, that won't bother Michaela, will it, going into this fight?
No, she loves it, and she's a pleasure to work with as well. She knows what she's doing. She's good with the media. She sells. She does great numbers, but also she's a top quality fighter. And I think we've promoted her, I think, a couple of times now. I've never seen her comfortable at the weight. I've always seen her struggling every week, and I've always thought, how are you doing this? You're massive. Like, she's a big, you know, she's a tall girl. You know, she's a big frame, and so to get down to the weight she was at was uncomfortable, and you could see it. And I think the question mark will be, will she carry a speed to welterweight? We don't know that, but I think she seems a lot more comfortable. She seems like she feels like she'll be more effective at this weight, and yeah, Tasha's got a tall order. They both have. I think this is both their natural weights. What's good for Tasha is obviously she won a world title at welterweight last year, but she'd been fighting at super welter, and it was probably, she did really well. But this is really where she should be fighting now at this stage of her career. So I think they're both coming in peak physical condition, both at the weight that they should be at. And we just got a great fight, and never mind women's boxing. It's got the UK, US. It's two technical fighters, two very good fighters, two great trainers. Been amazing having Coach Al over here in his 80s, travelling like he does, and coming over here and still loving it. And then Joe Gallagher in the other corner. You've got two very, very students of the game that will have prepared everything for tomorrow. It's just a very intriguing fight. It's one that even I can't call. And obviously I hope for Tasha's sake, for her big night, for her homecoming, for her return, we get a night to remember.
I'm sure we will. But I tell you what though, Ben, these super middleweights domestically, the four that we've got on the card, and you chuck in Callum Simpson, and I'm going to give my boy Boris Crichton a shout out as well. He's still going to be hovering about in the super middleweight division. But these domestic super middleweights, it's almost as if they're all at the same level right now. They're probably at the same sort of stage in their careers. Maybe Jack Collins a wee bit further ahead. Zach Chile, Mark Jeffers, Jermaine Brown, Callum Simpson, like I've mentioned. These can all fight each other over, and that British title, for a lack of a better word, can get passed around for like a joint. But the way they can pass it around and fight each other, and it's heating up pretty nicely. And I think we're going to see the start of this sort of super middleweight mini tournament, if you want to call it, on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering why Zach Chelly's fighting Jack Cullen. Obviously, Jack Cullen was Zach Chelly was meant to fight Mark Heffron, and then Jack got his chance, and a lot of people counted him out for that fight, and he just showed how much he's come on with Michael Jennings. I've been around that gym for a long time, and it was one of the first gyms I went into, and I just always the proper students of the game, and every fight that goes in there just seems to improve. And you've got Mark Jeffers in there, who's a quality fighter as well, and you saw what he did to Chelly last time. And then Callum Simpson, who's been the star on Sky for a few fights now, and he's someone that we really believe in. But the cream will rise to the top, as you said. And you've got Jeffers, you've got Simpson, you've got Chelly, you've got Cullen, as you say, top of the tree at the moment. And it's a good division. It's a good for quality operators. And I think Chelly's the one that has the question marks. I think I've worked with him for a while, but I think the Anthony Sims Jr. performance was very good, but he's never really changed his style, and he's never really developed. And he knows that, and he's going to have to be a different Zach Chelly tomorrow night to stand a chance, because this is a different Jack Cullen to the one he fought originally.
Well, we'll be back at the hotel, but I do want to get your BUATSI AZEEZ, a fight that we're all licking our lips for here in the UK. Didn't happen last year, but we're finally going to get it on, and we love domestic dust-ups. We really, really do, and I think this one's got the making of a barnstormer as well.
Yeah, it's a huge fight.
You're all staying on the bus until me and Ben are finished, right?
It's a huge fight. It's one obviously we hoped to get on last year. It's been frustrating. I feel responsible in terms of coming in between them. I've never seen them. They were best friends, and but I think it's just there's so much on the line. They both work so hard. I think Joshua BUATSI, feel sorry for him. He's always had that tag of perhaps being too inactive and not getting the fights that he should have got, and obviously he had to wait for this one again. And AZEEZ has done it the different way and been so active and just improved every time. And I think if you had this fight 2 years ago, Joshua BUATSI would be a heavy favourite. But I think now, with what AZEEZ has achieved and the activity and everything going into it and the confidence he's got, it's a huge London fight. It's a huge British fight. And to be honest, after the stress of October, and it really was stressful, with everything that went on for the fighters, for us, for everything, to just get it back on. And it was a lot of the fans were on our case and gutted when that fight fell away. So to get it back on, and you've got Adam Azim on the card, Ben Whittaker and Caroline Dubois, three of our biggest talents, our biggest hopes and our biggest superstars. And so I do think it's one of those nights where you've got that top of the bill, but it's one of those nights where you'll look back and go, wow, do you remember that night when you had Ben Whittaker, Adam Azim and Caroline Dubois all on the same card? I think they'll be headlining in years to come, hopefully pay-per-view stars as well. So it's just a huge night in London, and I think these British fights is what we have to try and deliver. The big nights in the UK, the big British domestics, and fans love it, and it's going to be a special night.
I'm going to ask a biased question, being that in Scotland you talk about British fights and we do love it, but in Scotland we're dried up a little bit up there. I've got to travel down to Manchester, Liverpool, London to get a big fight night, but big Martin Bakole, he's finally, looks like he's got a good fight ahead of him against Cassius Clay, I think his name, Cassius Chaney, number 7 WBA, he's number 1, an eliminator for that sort of number 1 spot, even though Bakole is in that number 1 position. yeah, have you got a venue date whenever that fight may happen? And talk about the heavyweight division as a whole, Ben, because it seems like every time these heavyweight fights are happening, the landscape is changing, and we're seeing that right now. So just talk to me about Mark Bakole and where he sits in amongst all that.
Yeah, it's just really good that it was moving, because for so long, and you have the Saudis to thank for that, it's incredible. And every time there's opportunities and things changing, you could have thought perhaps in December he was recovering from an injury, and that Carlos Takam fight, it was 50%, and the way he dominated it was special. But yeah, obviously now everything moving, opportunities coming. It's funny because Cassie Cheney is promoted by Don King, and I remember a few months ago going on a Zoom, and Don's still back. People think he's maybe not around anymore. He's still alive and well and working, and so it's something that would be an honour and unbelievable for ourselves to hopefully co-promote a fight with Don King and have him over here. And it's,
Are you going to be waving your little mini flags as well?
I don't know, but he still does, and he does it on camera. He does it on the on calls as well. But for Martin, he needs those opportunities. He needs the eliminators being ordered. He's worked so hard to get to number one, and yeah, he'll be licking his lips at the way the heavyweight division is moving now. He's still a young fighter for a heavyweight, and yeah, Billy Nelson will be eager to get him out, and yeah, hopefully back to full fitness, and we'll see that fight in the next couple of months.
Definitely. We're back at the hotel. I think everybody wants to jump in an ice bath. I've got to ice my ankle, ice my knee, drink some salt water for the cup inside my mouth. You know, I'm going to put my life on the line. I don't think I'm going to emphasise this so much, Ben. I put my life on the line for that tonight, and I hope you appreciate that.
I do, and I feel sorry for you because you got battered around, but it was
by 16-year-olds.
Yeah, by one 16-year-old in particular.
It was about 6'2". Let's be honest.
Was he 6'2"? I thought he was 5'2". Was he? Maybe next to you.
Let's say 6 foot. We'll call it even. Listen, Ben, pleasure to speak to you again, and I'm looking forward to an absolute fantastic night of boxing tomorrow night. And yeah, let's go in the ice baths and recover for tomorrow. I'll see you soon, Ben. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Get a sign-up bonus of 200% up to $25,000 when joining today. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.
Vote for IFL in this year's Sports Podcast Awards. Go to www.sportspodcastgroup.com and vote for us in Best Combat Sports Podcast and the Diverse Voices Awards categories. IFL Pod, available across all major streaming platforms now.